Can you, just give him this. He needs to see what's on it.
Please.
Let's eat his brains.
No! You do not touch him, he is my friend.
What's wrong with you?
What is going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to primarily be talking about Bitcoin, the big move that it's been having recently, something that I found that really lined up with something that I was personally looking at, something I talked about a few months ago. I think it's very interesting here. We're also going to be talking about Litecoin, if there's potentially another major move left before the halving. I obviously think so I want to get into that in the video. The momentum does not seem to be slowing down at all. That's mainly what I want to talk about too. The overall bullishness of this is insane. I want to talk about the hype. I want to talk about all of that. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all the good stuff, and we can just jump right into it. So I primarily want to start off with Bitcoin, and we will get into Litecoin as well. I want to look at this TA that I follow on TradingView. It's Magic Cannon there, but there's something interesting here that I really want to point out. So if you guys have been following the channel since last few months of 2018, this was kind of a trajectory that I've had drawn for quite a long time now. This is back, going even before 2011, but this long-term trend. And in one of the videos back from I think the middle or end of 2018, I said about how most of the time trajectory of Bitcoin was actually hugging this line, and you can really see that here. You can see it here, and the other 2 points that I pointed out was here and here, where it was not exactly hugging it. If we look on the weekly, you can see a better picture of this. So you can really see this trajectory has been somewhat relevant. Some of you may disagree. I don't think I've seen people draw this line exactly. So again, some people may disagree or agree with the validity of it. But what I want to point out here is that something interesting that I was looking at lines up with it very nicely here. And really, it would be very interesting if Bitcoin does end up pushing to the 12 or 13K range, because I think this kind of backs it up a little bit. So this is Magic Cannon. He has a little take here. So I want to kind of compare some stuff with his analysis here and also just on the chart I have here. So this line right here naturally is 10K right here. There's obviously been some resistance there, and it's a big psychological barrier as well. We broke through 9K recently. Bitcoin is just going insane. The hype is real. I want to talk about the fib retracement here, because that plays into this, and it also plays into the long-term trend. So real quickly, because I want to go into more depth, but I really just want to put it on the screen real quick and then get back to it. So high to low, the 0.618 is a very kind of classic fib retracement there, and that would put us, if this goes very bullish within the next month and a half, right around the 13.5. So I think that's also one of the reasons he talks about it here. He has some other indicators that I don't use, but this lines up also with this long-term trend that I have in the dotted line right here that my mouse is currently moving over. That would line up, even with this time frame, right around 13.5 right here. So, I want to get in and talk about this more. Before we do, I want to show you this and then also just talk about something else very briefly. So what I think is interesting is that you can see clearly here, for the past 8 years, Bitcoin has really not traded below this line. Now, we broke below it on the beginning of November when we went from about 6K to 3K, right? That was a huge dump. A lot went on psychologically in the market, a lot of fear, a lot of emotions, right? When that huge dump happened, it was essentially looked straight down from 6K to 4K, then it kind of weaseled its way down to 3K, but it was really a huge dump all at once. So something that I agree with is a statement that Bitcoin has never really been in a bear market. It's essentially just been in a bull market its entire existence. And so something I mentioned back in 2018 was like, what if we needed to get back above this line? And back then, I'll be honest, it was, for me, it seemed a little far-fetched. I do think with crypto anything is possible, but even trying to be bullish, I was thinking, I feel like this line probably has some validity or relevance to Bitcoin's chart, but I really don't see Bitcoin, hitting 3K, 4K, and then bouncing straight back up. But guys, what's kind of ironic and funny here is that so far that's kind of exactly what Bitcoin has done. So far it's kind of just, since hitting 3K and then 4K and breaking out of that ascending wedge there, it essentially, or ascending triangle there, it essentially literally has just gone straight up, breakout after breakout, and so far it hasn't failed. That's not to say it won't fail at some point in the future, but so far it hasn't. So even I was very skeptical, like, I don't know if this can really just break above this line, but so far we're so close, honestly. So from the low to here, there's about 300%. what it needed to get there. Now it's only 35% away. So really 270% of the way is already there. We only need another 30% to get back above this trend line here. Let me know if you agree, disagree, what your thoughts are on this trend line. The other thing I want to say too, and this plays into that, is just that you see people calling out, people saying things like, oh, it's just hopium, you're just getting too excited, this and that. And I've thought about that too, and it's definitely true that I get excited, and I know a lot of other people get excited in the space too, but I was thinking about it. The worst thing that can happen about people getting excited, obviously, is people taking people's financial advice and investing and losing money. So that's the worst thing. But the best thing that can happen from people getting excited is people becoming interested in cryptocurrency and joining the space, and long term succeeding in the space. Because I believe long term you really can't fail with this as an investment vehicle. So that's one thing. And I think hype really as well is justified in this space. If hype is justified in any space, whether it's stocks or whatever it is, I think crypto it's most justified in. And the reason I say that is because crazy things happen in crypto that warrant hype. All I mean by that is that the hype is justified. Like, crazy things happen that deserve to be celebrated, deserve to be hyped up, because these kind of things don't really happen in other markets. They've never really happened before. So the level of hype behind things, I feel, is like completely justified, because it's, to put it frank, it's just very exciting. Not only the technology is exciting, but the rapid price increase is very exciting. So yeah, I do feel like it's justified, the more I think about it, in getting excited about crypto and trying to get other people excited about crypto as well. That's kind of been my goal, and I've had that in my description of my videos, is like the goal of these videos is to promote discussion and interest in the space. That's what I've done, I think, and that's what I want to continue to do. I think that's really important as well. So kind of that's like, I mean, if you would ask me my goal of my channel, or my goal of talking about crypto, is to get people interested. And so with that being said, if I was back here in March of 2019 saying, yeah, you know what, maybe by the middle of this year, just 3 months ago, if I would have said this just 3 months ago, within the next 3 or 4 months, we're going to be over 13K Bitcoin. Do you know how many people would have said, Tyler, that's ridiculous, that'll never happen? Probably actually everyone. Even though we're not at 13K at this point, it has become a very real possibility. 12K as well. 10K is almost, in some people's eyes, it's like, yeah, guaranteed we're about to test 10K. And lately I've been trying to mix being really excited with crypto and then also post videos where I'm less bullish and I'm more like trying to be safe in terms of, hey, we could have a pullback or something like that. And so far, when I make those videos about a pullback, they've been proven wrong, meaning we just continue to go up, basically. Things just keep getting more and more bullish. So it's getting harder and harder for me to say things like, oh, be prepared, there might be a pullback, because over the past 2 months, every time I say that, so far we have not had a pullback. And again, I'm saying that almost just to be cautious, because I feel like it's much better to be safe than sorry. I personally think, it's much better to say, hey guys, we could go down $1,000 than go up 1,000, even though I do make videos saying, well, definitely go up too. I do make videos like that as well. And those videos do better, and also they've become more realistic, which is crazy and also really exciting too. Those are the ones that end up being true, because the ones so far where I'm saying we're going to pull back, we don't get the pullback. So basically that's what I say with Bitcoin. Obviously 10K is the next big thing right here. So that's what we're basically waiting and watching for. In terms of like what to watch out for next, obviously 10K. It's the big psychological level. Nice, even 10,000, huge number right there. As well, it has been support and resistance during the bear market. And I would say after 10K, maybe about 11.5 is what I had here. And then above that would be around the 12 to 13. But the thing is, Bitcoin's just blasting through everything, so really nothing's off the table. Now, to get into Litecoin, does Litecoin have any juice left? So the halving is really about 50 days away still. About August 6th is when the Litecoin halving will be. Litecoin has slowed down over the last few days. I think it's a little necessary, to be honest. I'm surprised we have not actually had more of a pullback, because Litecoin has been going crazy. This year, Litecoin is up from about $20 to 145 at its peak so far of this run, 550% up, by far the most out of the top coins. So again, a lot of it's attributed to the halving. Will it continue to pump prior to the halving? I think so. I think there's still some room left. I am honestly not counting anything out. Every time I try to be conservative, like I said, every time I try to be like, hey, maybe we'll have a pullback, guys, maybe be careful, it's almost as if as soon as I post the video, we just end up going higher in the price. So that's not to say that's going to continue forever. A lot of people still expect it to go above 10K, 11, 12, 13 as well in the short term. So mainly, I think the main takeaway of this video is that hype in this space is not only justified, but I think it's almost necessary, just because the space gets so crazy. To be successful and to be involved in the market almost requires you to accept the fact that these prices could blow up at any second. Again, what we saw in 2018 was the opposite. The prices just dump any second. But it seems very, very much the case that we're no longer in that bear market and that the prices are just continuously going up. Will we get a pullback? Probably, but every time I say that, we don't get one. So I honestly don't know how to approach that question at this point, because it seems like we keep going up. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys are new, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.